Is being a landlord actually worth it? We've seen tenants refuse to leave, disappear without warning, stop paying rent, destroy properties on the way out, and sometimes leave behind damage so bad you don't even recognize your own house. So now comes the question every landlord eventually asks, usually in private. Is being a landlord actually worth it? Not the spreadsheets, not the TikTok success stories, not the gurus selling courses, the real version. Today's file isn't a horror story. It's a reckoning. Stay until the end, because the answer isn't what most people expect. And it explains why the next stories are even worse. Why people become landlords. Most landlords start the same way. They want stability. They want control. They want something tangible. Real estate feels safer than stocks, more predictable than business, more grown up than risk. And sometimes it works. Tenants pay. Mortgages shrink. Equity grows quietly. But here's what no one tells you. Landlords don't fail because rent stops. They fail because everything stacks. Vacancy plus repairs. Stress plus uncertainty. Responsibility plus liability. And when it hits, it doesn't hit one problem at a time. Still watching? This is where most landlords break. The costs nobody calculates. When people calculate returns, they count rent. They don't count lost sleep, legal confusion, emotional exhaustion, decision fatigue. They don't count the mental load of wondering, is the tenant okay? Is something leaking? Is this about to get worse? Landlords don't just own property. They absorb risk. And the longer you own, the more exposure you accumulate. One bad tenant doesn't ruin you, but a string of almost bad tenants? That's where damage grows quietly. If you've watched every episode so far, you already know this. Why some landlords still say yes. So why do some landlords stay? Because when it works, it really works. Long-term tenants, predictable income, properties that appreciate while you sleep. For disciplined owners with strong systems, real estate can still build wealth. But notice the pattern. The landlords who survive don't rely on luck. They rely on strict screening, frequent inspections, clear boundaries, emotional detachment. They don't hope tenants will do the right thing. They plan for when they don't. And this is where the next stories begin. The truth. No one admits. Here's the truth most people avoid. Landlording isn't passive. It's delayed responsibility. And the longer problems go unnoticed, the more shocking they become. That's why some landlords walk into properties filled with mold, infestations, and health hazards they never saw coming. Not because they were bad owners, because they trusted silence. In the next file, we open the door to what happens when tenants don't just neglect a property, they let it decay. So, is being a landlord worth it? For some, yes. For many, not how they expected. And for others, absolutely not. Real estate doesn't reward optimism. It rewards preparation. And the stories you're about to see next are what happens when preparation falls short. Not through malice, but through neglect. If you thought destruction was bad, wait until you see infestation. Being a landlord isn't about collecting rent. It's about managing risk you can't always see. In the next file, we enter the infestation arc, the stories landlords dread the most. Click the next episode to open the next file. This is Property Owner Files.